Good afternoon. How are you out there? Yes, I've been having fun getting ready for Christmas, getting into the last day of working before the holiday. And I couldn't decide whether to be funky and fun with my shoes or to go more formal and classy. So I thought I'd do both. So we have jewels and we have shoes, and I'm trying to figure out which I'm going to wear for Christmas in my world. You know, what will I wear to the living room? And I'll have Christmas Eve and Christmas, so maybe I will do formal on Christmas Eve as I go into the living room. Maybe I'll go funky with the shoes on Christmas Day. Either way, it's going to be an isolated Christmas. It's going to be different than any Christmas I've ever known. Hopefully it's the only Christmas like this that I will know. I would like to get past this pandemic. Kind of overwhelming some days, but I have to remind myself there's so much to be grateful for. Today, I'm grateful for some sunshine. It's beautiful outside. It's cold. I won't deny that. It's very cold. But the sun is shining and the sky is blue, which we've had rain and cold and gray and icky. So I missed seeing the Christmas star with the planets aligning. We couldn't see it because of all the clouds. I'm hoping maybe tonight, since it'll be clear, I'll get to see it even though they won't be truly aligned. At least I'll see the two planets. That's my goal. I saw it on, I want to say like the 12th or the 13th, so early. I saw it, again, not aligned, but it was there. And I thought, maybe today I'll get to see it. So how are you doing? What's going on in your world? Are you ready for the holiday? Have you already been holidaying? Maybe you've been doing Hanukkah and are complete now. Which holiday do you celebrate? Maybe you celebrate the solstice and you just finished that. Maybe you don't celebrate. Maybe it's bah humbug. That's okay too. So what is going to be your celebration and how is it all going to work? I'm going to figure out what materials I want to use here today. I have so many grand things to work with. You can see the studio is set with some formal and kind of sophisticated, and then also some casual, bright and red and festive. We'll do a little bit of everything. So just like the shoes, casual and festive, and the jewelry, a little more formal and sophisticated. We've got it all. In the studio with me, we've got Carolyn and Marisa. So as you are coming in, they'll be watching for your questions to share them with me. Online, we have Caledonia and Susie, so they're greeting you and getting to interact. And then we have you. Make sure you introduce yourself, meet your tribe. If you're part of the Tulip Tribe, put your tulip in there and get to know each other, because this hour is a collaboration. And we're going to be doing just kind of fun things that are last-minute gifts, oftentimes with leftovers, things that you might not, you don't want to go buy a bunch more stuff because come Saturday, nobody wants red anymore. And so it's like, okay, we've got to just get rid of what we have. One of my favorite techniques is to personalize a vase with electrical tape. So this is just red electrical tape like you get at the hardware store, and then just a standard cylinder, you know, a staple of our industry, and turning it into a candy cane. So just taking, determining the angle, and it can vary, sort of depends on what you want, and then twisting it around, trying to keep it straight. Not too wrinkled. There we go. Bringing it on around. It gives you just a little festive candy cane look without investing in a vase that maybe after Christmas all of a sudden you go, oh my gosh, what do I do with this? And you can do a couple sets. You don't have to make them all be consistent in spacing. Sometimes I like to vary it just a little bit so I could go back now. I started it and do it again and adjust my spacing a bit. Try to keep the angle about the same, that I don't worry about the spacing being identical.
Leanne, will you remind everybody to put their tulips in? I recognize names, but I don't see tulips.
Oh, people, get your tulip logo in there. Go to the emojis in your computer keyboard, the emojis, and type in the tulip so that we can know if you're part of the tribe. It makes it easier for Caledonia and Susie and Carolyn and Marisa to keep track of you. And plus it lets each of you know who's there, who the tribe is. And if you're wondering who the tribe is from your side, like, what's this tribe you speak of? The tribe is all of our students, all of our graduates, everybody who's a member of the Flower Lovers Club. So hopefully that includes you, that you're part of our tribe. So I'm clipping off the end here because I don't want it to come down too far. There we go. So you can see just a spiral going around. It's not perfectly spaced, but it's just kind of fun. I could do one more here, but I'm not going to, because if I do, it'll be too close down here and it's not up there. So this will just become the back and this is the front. Go back and add in a little bit of water. Then I'm ready to start designing. So it's a quick and easy way to personalize a vase without a lot of investment. I know when it comes to the holidays, I don't like to buy too many things that are so specific that once the holiday is over, you can't use it. With something like this, you just make the tape as you need it. And if you don't need a candy cane vase, then you just don't put tape on it. And you've got a clear cylinder that you can use day after day after day after day. So it's a fun gifting technique that you can use. Then let's add some flowers in here while I start gathering what's going on out in there in the world.
Well, YouTube is very international today. We've got Peter from the Netherlands. It's his first time catching us live. We have Jillian, who's first time catching us live. And Lisa from New Zealand, first time catching us live. And then we have Elizabeth, Leslie, Elaine, Debbie, and Marmac.
Wow, lots of first timers. Welcome. This is an hour of a collaboration with the tribe. We answer questions, we get inspired, we share creativity, and we encourage each other. So those of you that have been here before, reach out and welcome the newcomers, the first timers. And my question to each of you is, how has the holiday gone? Has it been crazy busy? I know I've talked to so many graduates that this is one of their busiest holidays ever. And that's pretty exciting because what a year we've had. So it's nice when it is a busy, festive time. Oh, starting with some bay. It's just so fragrant, so fabulous. Setting it in.
And Leanne, over here in Facebook land, I have lots of tulips over here. I have Donna and Penny, Sharon, Denise, Wayne, Jim, Michael, Kim, Robin, Diane, Dana, who also is from North Dakota, who moved there from Oregon to manage her own, her old flower shop.
Oh, wow, congratulations. And you're probably snowy and cold there.
And then we also have Sue, Marcy, Roger, Roxy, Tabitha, Elisa, Jim, and Annie, who just became a member of the Flower Lovers Club.
Well, Annie, welcome. I'm so glad you did. The Flower Lovers Club is a very special thing to me because people who are members of the Flower Lovers Club, the benefit is you get 5 specific private educational libraries that are just for you. It also benefits free education. So by your membership, you're helping to support free education for everyone. So we really do appreciate that. And the Flower Lovers Club is one of the few things that you could still do if you're looking for gifting, because we can still do Flower Lovers Club membership and have it out before the holidays. So we have 2 things that we can do and still get it out for Christmas. One is gift certificates. We can have that done. And then the other is the Flower Lovers Club. Obviously, nothing else is going to get shipped and get on time to any place because the holiday is upon us. So now, along with the broadleaf of the bay, I added some Douglas fir with the cone, just love that. A little bit of cedar to get some draping. And then I'm going to go back and add in some ilex berry, which you may recognize these berries because I stole them from the leftovers from Teacher Carolyn's live when she started out with the ilex berries. And somebody asked at that live, do the berries hold very well? Well, there's proof right here because these are the leftovers from her live. And yes, they've held wonderfully. They will dry and shrivel, but they keep their color and they stay wonderful for literally months. Now, I've had them in my home when I've kept them from early December clear to almost February. And yes, they get shrivelly, but the color's still beautiful, and I just hate to take them out. So I leave them there, even though I know that they are definitely dead. Carolyn, Marisa, what else is going on?
We have a great question from Elizabeth. She's wondering if you have to have experience to join the Flower Lovers Club.
Actually, the Flower Lovers Club, you do not need experience. The Flower Lovers Club really is an opportunity to begin your journey in floral design education. It was originally started as a way to allow our graduates to have updates and such, and so it's kind of like the Cliff Notes versions of things. It's little snippets of educational videos, nothing that's on our free videos. They're totally separate, nothing in there is free, but they're very focused educational, and you do not need experience to go into that. You can do it. Marisa, what do you have there?
Well, I have a question slash comment for you. So with that vase with the red tape, if, say, those vases were left over from Christmas, would that be something that we could possibly sell for Valentine's Day?
You know, you could actually take heart stickers and add to it as well. And definitely it could become Valentine's because it just is red. So carrying over to the next holiday, super important. And you could even, you know, if you're really crafty, cut hearts out of the same tape and then just put it in between in a couple places. That'd be very cool. So now some of you may have noticed on my, I think it's on my personal Facebook. I don't think I put it on the business Facebook. But I've been doing a lot of testing with cut poinsettias. I started about 3 weeks ago maybe doing some testing, and what has been interesting is I haven't really found one technique being better than another. I'm going to show you both techniques that work, and I haven't found that one has lasted better than another, but what I have found is the different varieties of poinsettia varies greatly. I had some that were called jingle bells that had kind of speckles on them that were very cool. They all died almost instantly. That particular variety just didn't hold. Now, was it my plant? Was it that variety? I don't know. So I am on a mission next year to do some more testing with it and buy some more poinsettias. This particular variety, I'll put my glasses on so I can tell you what it is one that I found holds pretty well. And it's just Christmas Beauty Red. So it's a more classic red, and it has held pretty well. And for it, the technique that I'm going to share with you is just like what we teach you in basic floral design. It's in your textbook. It says, if you have a flower with a milky sap, like a poinsettia, take that and singe the end with a flame. So you burn it, and you're basically sealing it. So you singe that, get it nice and burnt. And then place it into the water, and literally, poinsettias can last for 2 weeks or more. Now, as I mentioned, not all do that well. Some of them didn't hold as well as others. And again, I think it's variety specific. So this is going to be a 2-year process because I didn't buy enough of each variety to really do a scientific study. So I'm still in the process. But the other technique, I'm going to turn this one off, is to use denatured alcohol. And denatured alcohol is very flammable. So that's why I blew the candle out before I brought the denatured alcohol over. But denatured alcohol is an alternative to using the flame. But you do the exact same thing. You cut it, pull off any lower leaves, then dip it in the alcohol. One more step, using a Q-tip, go back and dab where you pulled the leaves off. So that's something you can't do with the flame because you would burn the bloom. But with the denatured alcohol, you can do the sides as well as the stem. So another technique, and like I say, it lasted about the same. I haven't found that the techniques had any difference in longevity, but the varieties had different. So while I fuss with this a little bit, Carol and Marisa, what else have you got there?
John said that he worked with a burgundy poinsettia and it died really quick, but then did the classic red like you, and it held up great.
See, and that's in the past when I've done it at home. I've done more of the red, and they've always been wonderful. They've held so well, you know, literally weeks. And this time when I tried the different varieties, I was really surprised at how different. So you do have to pay attention to which variety and keep track of those names. And that's where I was kind of disappointed because I didn't keep all my labels because I didn't think it was going to be that strikingly different. But I don't know if Ricky is with us today or not, but Ricky King is the one that taught me about the denatured alcohol. Because I had always just singed them, which is the classic textbook lesson. And Ricky pointed out that if you did it with the denatured alcohol, you could still seal it so that it isn't going to bleed out the sap, but it doesn't stop it from continuing to drink. And that's why I started this testing, because I wanted to see, is that really true or not? And to be honest, I still don't know. I just know that I am finding that there's too many variables. So this year, I'm going to go ahead with my experimenting and such, but address the fact that, gosh, it's not scientific. I didn't have enough detail kept. And next year, I'm going to buy specific varieties and keep track of specific steps so that I know which way. But gifting, so now if you have a store and you have poinsettias that haven't sold, here's a great way to get your money back out of them. Maybe you would sell the plant for $20, divide it by the number of blooms, and just sell the blooms, and you can gift and make money. What else is going on?
So Scott wants to know, could you use super glue?
Oh my gosh, now I have another science experiment. I don't know. So Scott, I'm going to put you on the super glue testing because I don't happen to own any super glue. With my luck, I would just glue my fingers together and that would not be a good thing. But that's an excellent question because I don't know. And this whole poinsettia thing, they used to grow poinsettias that were like 5 feet long. Eckies did 4-cut blooms. And then it just went out of favor and we didn't do that anymore. And we might be going full circle back to using them as cuts. Carolyn, what have you got there?
Is denatured alcohol the same as rubbing alcohol?
I don't think so. I did some studying on it. I think it's similar, but and I don't know all this stuff, but denatured alcohol is like an ethanol alcohol that has a bitter flavoring added to it so that people know it's poisonous. Little did I know all this stuff. I thought I cut flowers and I'm a florist, and now all of a sudden I'm having to figure out and learn things that are scientific. But you know what? That's kind of fun. Learning something new every day is really exciting. So I had to Google denatured alcohol because I didn't even really know. But it has an additive in it to make it taste bad so that you don't poison yourself. So now you know. Kind of interesting. So
Well,
poinsettias for one.
Penny wants to know where you would buy that type of alcohol.
Hardware store. Yep, you just go to the hardware store and they have it. It's no big deal. I actually had it at home because I use it for my little indoor fireplace fuel. I have one of those little things that you sit on the tabletop and it burns like you have a fireplace, because I don't have a fireplace, but I pretend. And so it's the same stuff that I use at home for that, which that's how come I know it's very flammable, which is why I did put it with a candle, something to think about. Okay. So, moving on, more gifting fun. Don't forget, if you do need more gifts, if you are a last-minute shopper and trying to figure out what you're going to do, look around you, see what you have. Maybe it's a vase that you cover with tape. It's easy. Maybe you've got lots of bits of ribbon. Look at this. These were all bits that we had. I don't know how we ended up with all these short little bits of ribbon, but we have short little bits of ribbon. And so you're sitting there going, well, geez, what am I going to do with all of this? Because I paid for this. This is not cheap ribbon. This is expensive ribbon. So you think, oh my gosh, how can I use it for gifting? Well, one of my favorites is to do the package. So I took one of the bits and wrapped it around. Then I'll take another of the bits here, bring it up, and wrap it. I love this ribbon. It's red, but it's much more sophisticated. It's not that garish red, although I like garish red too, so I won't say it's not that garish red. Darn, I like garish red. But it is a very sophisticated, lovely red, and that little print is so subtle. It looks gorgeous. So, questions? What's going on out there? Speak up. Give us something to say, because we want to know what you're doing and how things are going.
Leanne, do you have any pointers on how to possibly reroot broken poinsettia stems?
No, I don't. The rooting, I think, is actually a kind of a bigger deal, because I think you have to do it at a certain time of the year, and then they have to be dark and colder and all these different things. So no, I don't grow things, I cut them. And I'm really proud of myself when I even start studying the science of cutting them. So no, I don't. But if I had to guess, I would say, you know what? Singe that puppy and put it in a vase and enjoy it as a cut flower and give it up, because I don't really see them as something you would reroot. Although one of our graduates, was it maybe Jennifer? I'm making that up, I'm not sure. But she has a poinsettia that's many years old in her daughter's bedroom that she's kept alive for year after year after year. So it can be done. It can be done. What else is going on?
And then, I don't know if you actually mentioned this, and I know you're testing the poinsettias, but when they do last cut, how long do they last for?
If they last, and it's one of those things, they either last or they don't, is what I'm finding so far, is there's no middle ground. And if they do last, it's a good 2 weeks where they're quite lovely. And then another question that hasn't been asked but should be is, does it make a difference if they're in water or in floral foam? And I didn't find that it made any difference. They lasted just as well in floral foam as they did in water, if they were going to last. And so far, I have found that the classic red is holding the best of all of them. That's not to say the others won't, but the classic red is what I've had the greatest success with in getting that 2 week life. One other tip, before you cut them from the plant, make sure that the plant itself is fully hydrated. I find if it's already water stressed and if the bloom is thirsty when you go to cut it, it never truly recovers. So you want a nice, healthy, well-watered plant that you cut from. So just a little tip there that I found. And then as you explore this and you experiment, let me know what you find out, because I find this knowledge is grand fun, but it takes a while to gather it all together. So like when I learned from Ricky how to try the other technique, what am I going to learn from you? What are you going to share? Yeah.
Okay, Leanne, so we need to do a shout out for Tabitha. She's a recent FDI graduate who lives in Hawaii, and she's asked a few times on here if there's anyone out there in the Bay, San Francisco area, because she needs to send flowers to her family.
So if we've got San Francisco tulips, reach out to Tabitha, private message her, or put in here, please contact me, private message. Don't put your phone number on a public thing. So, but you could put in there that, hey, Tabitha, I can do this, because yes, there's many of you who could, I'm sure. So if somebody's in the Bay Area, reach out to Tabitha. Okay. So now, basically, I just wrapped a present using leftover ribbon. I'm not going to tip it up because I would spill water all over. And I just attach the bow on the top, a little bit of streamer. And then once I have that, I go back and just start adding flowers. And I don't know, was it Teacher Marisa or Teacher Carolyn who gilded?
I did it.
Teacher Marisa was gilding foliage for me. She had the studio all set, and so adding in some of that beautiful gold, just breaking it down. And on a lot of foliage, I just go ahead and break it rather than cut it. It seems to hold just as well. So before somebody goes, why are you breaking it instead of cutting it? That is why, I just do. Now, you could cut with your knife. That's totally fine. Really kind of up to you as to what's going to work best as you are creating. Teacher Carolyn, what's up in your world?
Well, Susie just mentioned on YouTube, I know the question for the Bay Area came from Facebook, but Nako's floral design, she's one of our graduates, is in the Bay Area.
Yes, she is. And so, Tabitha, if you wanted to pop over to YouTube and reach out to Neho, and she's got a store, I believe, or a studio. She's full-fledged filling orders, and I know she's been really quite busy with the holidays, so she could probably help you out there. So that's excellent. Thanks, Susie. So then added in a little bit of Floral, which has also been gilded. So all of a sudden, it looks like a party, just with the gold and the red. Turn it around so you can see both sides.
Leanne, we have a question for actually all of our viewers. So it looks like Michelle is asking the Flower Lover Club members out there. She's on the fence about membership, and she wants to know, she's asking what are everyone's favorite things about the Flower Lovers Club?
Oh, that's a great question. So those of you that are members of the Flower Lovers Club, if you could let her know what your favorite parts are. From my perspective, the best parts are the fact that you have a resource for education as opposed to just inspiration, because all of our free things, I gear up to inspiration. And then the Flower Lovers Club, I gear to education. So you can go in and you can look for a video on dynamic line. You can go look for a video on implied line. You can go look for a video on texture that's very specific to floral education. Then the added bonus is you do get 20% off on all floral supplies that you purchase from us. So that's kind of a good value. So notice I got out my turntable. So whoever it is that usually ridicules me for not having a turntable, I got it out just for you. I guess ridicule is the wrong word. Who chastises me for not having a turntable. So now I have it. Then I can go back and fill in with some more flowers. What do I want to use? I was going to do the green, but it's just too green. And that's where some of your color videos can come in for you. When you do a shade, mixing it with a shade works better than going with a shade and going through an intense hue. They just kind of fight each other. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to skip that. Go back to something with a little darker color. The cedar will be nice there, because it gives you a more in-depth color that will coordinate with the ribbon.
Leanne, we got a few answers already for Michelle in regards to the Flower Lovers Club.
Cool, what are we saying?
Yeah, so,
I'm curious.
I know. So Chris says all the videos and the access to the Facebook Tulip Tribe group.
Yeah, that's good.
And then Donna says, oh, I like it all. And And then Robin says, the inspiration, ideas, it's endless.
Good. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. So we try to make sure that their value is in there. And I always wonder, what is the value you see? Because everybody's idea of value is different. And we want to make sure that we keep it to meet your needs. Stay on top of it. We were having so much fun yesterday because we were finishing up all the videos for January and had a lot of fun with it. In fact, I have a picture that I didn't post because I thought it was just a little too risque because we were having too much fun with all of it. But you'll have to wait till January to see the videos and see if you can figure out what might have been risque. But I'll leave that as a challenge to you to figure out what that is. So now I'm ready for flowers. Just to fill in a little bit here. Maybe bring in some beautiful snow white tulips.
Leanne, I have another question for all the viewers out there. Oh, and it looks like, sorry, sidetrack, but it looks like a lot of other viewers are saying pretty much it's the education that's their favorite part for the Flower Lovers Club. But Amy wants to know, or all you viewers out there, what's a good substitution for a double Lysianthus?
Oh, good question. So what's a good substitution for a double Lysianthus? Because they're so ruffled. So that's a great question. So let's see what comes up out there from the tribe. What would you suggest for a substitution for a double Lysianthus? What color? Does it matter? That would be a question, I guess.
And Leanne, I think, from what I recall, in the Flower Lovers Club, I think there is an advanced technique section.
There is.
And I wonder if that's what you're doing, if that's in that section.
You know, the reflexing, I'm not sure if that one's in there or not. That might be one I have to put in there. Reflexing is manipulating the bloom so that the petals go backwards. And when you do that, it doesn't shorten the life of the flower, but it just makes it look totally different. And I almost think it looks like a little Christmas star sitting in there. And I tucked one down really low and then one up a little higher, leaving it above so that I sheltered, which I believe is a technique that's in there. Sheltering probably is. If you've taken advanced floral design with us or basic floral design where we've gone through the various techniques, many of those techniques then are reviewed in the club so that you can refresh your memory. Because sometimes, you go through flower school and then you go, now, what did she say about that? Or what did he say? And you need to go back and look. And that's where the club can help. There's also a style library. So like if you wanted to look up Biedermeier or hedgerow, you can go and see a video that tells you what is the Biedermeier or what is the hedgerow and how that all works. I love this particular tulip. Look at that red down in the center. Isn't that interesting? I had never noticed that. And it's like, oh, this
You
is
didn't do
just
that on
different.
purpose and pick that red ribbon on purpose?
I didn't. I mean, somebody was just looking out for
You
me.
can't even see it on camera.
Oh, you can't?
No, I don't think so, but it's really
Maybe
pretty.
try-
Maybe in the picture. I'll get it in the picture.
You get it in the picture. Okay, so we will take pictures. Even though this is our last day before the holiday, none of us are going to go home tonight till we get the pictures so that we can share it with you. So I'll pull it back and maybe you can see it a little better there. Don't know, but it's just like this perfect little red center in there. It's so grand. Okay, Carolyn, what else is going on?
Patricia has a great comment and question. She is looking forward to joining the Flower Lovers Club, but she's wondering if she can access the courses through the Flower Lovers Club.
No, that you cannot get to the courses through the club. The courses have their own 100% separate, completely different filming, completely different support. All of that is separate from the club. We really have 3 main focuses for video content to share with you. We have the free, like the lives, and our Monday videos and our Tuesday videos and all the content that you find on YouTube and in the flowerschool.com video resource library. All that free content is there for you 24/7, all you want. And it's primarily inspirational. That's the goal of that content. Then we have the club content, which to be a member of the club is $59.95 for an entire year, so it's a huge value. And that content is more educational, but it's not teacher supported. It's just there for you to consume and learn from. And then lastly is the school content, which that is fully teacher supported and definitely more educational. It's filmed with more intensity, more depth of detail, more of the why instead of just do what I say, but instead it's like, this is why I say this and this is why you do this, so that you really understand the whole theory and the technique and the concept. And so it's just a much more involved type video. So yeah, there's 3 different types and they're accessible from 3 different places and they do not overlap. So if you watch a free video, you're not going to turn around and find it in the club. If you watch an educational video from your My Flower School, you're not going to find it in with the free things. There's no overlap at all. It's all completely unique and separated.
Leanne, they're just loving this arrangement, so sophisticated.
Isn't it fun? I
know-
like this.
You know what? Those tulips are reading almost like, depending on where you turn it, they almost read like jumbo plumeria or almost like cymbidiums.
Yep, they sure do.
Like they don't.
Oh,
They look
yeah.
like 5 different types of
I
flowers.
know.
True, it doesn't look like a tulip though,
No.
does it? I was thinking the same thing. It's like, oh my gosh, it's not even a tulip anymore. And that's kind of the magic of being a florist, is you get to decide what you want things to be and do and manipulate them and just kind of play Mother Nature a little bit. A little bit of knowledge goes a very long way, and it's like, oh my gosh, what did you just do? But how fun is that? Oh, I love it. Too fun. Now, if you get our weekly videos, on Tuesday we send out the Tulip Tuesday tips for the tribe, and we just sent out one that was kind of fun. Let's see, do we have some Crown and Glory in here somewhere maybe?
I'll go get some.
Okay, I thought I had it, but I don't. Bad, Leanne. Oh, I got it right here. I
Oh,
did.
good. Oh, I put it.
Yep. Okay, so we sent out a tip for just making snow. And you take your Crown and Glory and you just mist, which of course makes the flowers last longer too. So it's a positive for everything, a little bit of Crown and Glory. Then using your flower food, or just the regular flower food, sprinkle it over and it looks like snow, and the Crown and Glory makes it stick, and it's non-toxic, so you don't have to worry about a pet eating it or your child licking a leaf or whatever. I don't think the child should, but you never know what could happen. But it's non-toxic and it just fits right in there. Then you could go back and add glitter, which now I've gone away from the non-toxic, but it's kind of so sparkly and it's Christmas Eve. What else is happening?
When you're done letting it snow, would you mind telling everyone what that line, the white line flower you put in there? Everyone's asking what that is.
Ha! My secret, you don't know. No, I will share. The line flower that I used was actually larkspur. And it's just the most graceful bloom. Sometimes it comes in super, super, super straight like that. But this particular variety has been just having this great curvature and movement to it. I used it to do a video last week, and I just thought, oh, look how graceful and grand. And so it was perfect to put in with that. So it's just larkspur, then tulips, salal, ribbon, cedar, All my favorite things. And then ruscus that was gilded. So we had the gilded ruscus in there. Okay. Now, depending on what you wanted to do, you could stop right there. But the other thing I like to do is add in little enhancements, whatever that may be. And in this particular one, the enhancement was some cranberries. So just like cranberries that you cook with. Went to the grocery store, bought a bag of cranberries, and then using metallic wire, just beating it. You could do it with popcorn. It could be a great family project. This is the type of thing that, you know, you have these romantic theories of gathering the kids in front of the fire and stringing popcorn and stringing cranberries. And the reality is nobody's doing that. And they're all watching their video games and pouting because they can't go visit their friends. But with this, you don't have to do so much like you would be doing a whole tree. And so just doing some and getting it going makes it kind of fun. Well, I get a little bit more. What else is happening?
Well, the Tulip Tribe better be ready to welcome Michelle in, because she says she's convinced and she's gonna join the Flower Lovers Club.
Yay. Well, Michelle, when you do that, I personally get an email that says, Michelle joined the Flower Lovers Club, and I will personally send you a letter that gives you your login code, because that is one task that I have kept to myself, is every Flower Lovers Club member that joins, I'm the one that sends out that email, because I just want to see who's part of our tribe, and that way I get to personally welcome you, and it just makes me feel happy. So I will personally be doing that, and I'll watch for it, and when you're ready, just go ahead and get registered, and then I'll get you your welcome, so that maybe this weekend while you're sitting at home and staying safe and secluded and isolated and all of that, you could start doing some flower studies with the Flower Lovers Club. So I've just got berries now wired together. Then you can take the decorative wire and insert that down in. And since it's decorative wire, it doesn't need to be taped, and it's not going to rust. That's not going to be a problem. Just finding the perfect little hole here that I can get it to feed down in. There we go. And then leaving it out almost like a ribbon. And then got a little bit more here. Twisting it. And feeding it in. And it just makes me happy. You know, it's just one of those silly little things that it's like, oh, how cool is that? You could just take, rather than looping it, attach it to the leaf. I can get it wrapped around here. My fingers are sticky with cranberry juice. And then bringing it up and attaching it to another leaf. And letting it just drape down the side of the vessel, like so. I'm bringing this one. This is where this one needs to go. You know, sometimes you're working on something and you just go, this is where it's supposed to go. This is where it has to be. And that's what this just did. And it's going to go right here. And then bringing it around and attaching it on this side so it just trails down. So another last minute gift using leftover bits of ribbon. And then just some flowers that makes it special, sprinkling it with snow. If you don't get our weekly emails with like the Tulip Tuesday tips and such, you can just go on and subscribe to that newsletter. It's free. Just put your email in, say subscribe, send me your newsletter, blah, blah, and we will send that out to you so that you can keep up with all the things that we are doing, because we do have a lot of fun. Okay, I think I've got time for one more here, so I'll get things cleared away a little bit. And while I get that one out, what's happening? Anything new and exciting?
We are having a little bit of a discussion over here on Facebook if Larkspur is toxic to pets, which I don't believe so. However, poinsettias are.
Actually, poinsettias are not.
Oh,
They are not. That's the misperception. And it all started from General somebody or other in the Victorian era whose son died. And then they thought the dog died, and it went on and on and on. But they have proven that it isn't toxic. It, if you ingest enough, and I can't remember, it's like 289 leaves, you will throw up, but you won't die. And it's kind of interesting because everybody says that they're poisonous, and the poinsettia people are going crazy trying to solve that myth. And if you actually go to the Poison Control Center, you will find that it's not on the list. And so it is, but it will make them throw up. It does make animals throw up, and it will make your kid throw up too. But it has been proven that it isn't actually poisonous, but everybody still thinks it is. And so it's kind of, I don't know how to remedy that to make sure that people are safe, but I thought that was kind of fascinating.
so Leanne, shout out to, and I'm so sorry, I cannot remember who it was last week, but someone did say, oh, is that design going to be one of the reindeers from? Yeah, I didn't want to say it. Yeah, I didn't want to spoil the surprise, but I want to do a shout out to.
Sorry, I
So
spoiled
it's
it.
okay. It's okay. Maybe they didn't hear it, but I wanted to do a shout out to them because they had said, "Hey, is that what this is?" And I was like,
So yes, this, when I came in today, Marisa had this totally set for me, and you may recognize the antlers and the nose so bright. So if you know who we have here, I thought, how fun is this? So this is our second whimsical one. So we did sophisticated with snow, and now we're going to go back to a little bit of fun and crazy with nose so bright. And let's see who knows who this is that's joining us for the Christmas holiday.
So it was Roxy. She's like, it was me.
Okay, Roxy, yay. And I'm using the Douglas fir because to me that's a little kid fir. I know that sounds silly, but it's what Christmas trees are made of, and it's what we have here in the Pacific Northwest all the time. It's native here. Well, I don't know if it's native, but we have an abundance of it here. And I thought, well, that was perfect for this particular design. Keeping it all down low so that I don't cover up the nose and I don't lose my antlers. And I do have a little bell. Somebody last week was saying it sounded like her pet was coming in, but no pets. There we go.
And so Donna says, oh yeah, remember the turkey? And then Scott says, Tulip the turkey and now Rudolph.
I mean, this is a year for me to do silly things. I was thinking that's kind of funny because it's been a while since I've just done silly. But how cool is it? We all got to be silly sometimes. And if anybody needed a laugh and a smile, this is the year we need it. So hopefully this gives you a laugh, gives you a smile, makes you giggle.
And shout out to Catherine. She says, Merry Christmas to me. I'm finally a member after all this time.
Merry Christmas, Catherine. You know, the Flower Lovers Club and gift certificates and such are great gifts because it's the gift that keeps giving. It's education that is a lifetime of opportunity. And what better gift is there? Rather than just something that gets put on a shelf and forgotten or given away or donated, using something that gives you value and happiness for years to come. That's a great gift.
So when you already have a few people on Facebook that said, with that bell that you just jingled, my cat's in the living room now.
Oh, that is too funny. Yeah, the pets do hear things really well, and so then they come running because like, what is that? Is it dinner time? What's happening? But it's just Rudolph.
Well, it's Rudolph and his elf friend.
And his elf friend, okay. Is that Elphus?
Oh yeah, Elphus. I forgot about Elphus.
So as you all get ready for the last bits of the year here and the holiday, I do hope that it was a fun holiday. I know it was different. I know it was not the holiday you probably dreamed of. It's certainly not the holiday any of us really wanted. But hopefully it brought some happiness to you and some unexpected joy somewhere, somehow in your life. David and I were sitting having our coffee this morning and just sitting, drinking coffee and looking outside at the lights and just kind of reflecting. And both of us said at virtually the same time, we are so lucky and we are so blessed. And it's hard to think that way sometimes because the year has been so awful that we're just like, really? I hate this year. I hate this year. I hate this year. But really when it comes down to it and you start thinking about your blessings and all that has come and all that you do have to be grateful for, sometimes we have to step back and say, maybe it's not what we wanted, maybe it's different, but how lucky are we?
Leanne, Dorn would like to share with us, this is just so amazing. So out where she is in South Wales in the UK, they are ringing bells tomorrow at 6 p.m. to show the kids that Christmas is still happening and that they are showing that Santa still needs to come visit.
So 6 p.m. tomorrow, ringing bells to prove that Christmas is still happening. I love that. I truly love that. I'm going to have to check and see if something like that is happening in my neighborhood, because if it is, I want to be part of that. I want to ring those bells, because how fabulous is that? And we all need bells in our life. We all need bells. Maybe that's not the type of bell we'd be ringing, but I think we need that, definitely. So I just added in a few roses, some bay leaf, some odds and ends of things. I've got a hole over here. I need to fill in a little more. And while I keep fussing here, bringing in some more materials, what else is going on out there? What else are you guys doing to make this year special? How are you counting your blessings?
We have quite a few people from around the world besides the UK. We have, Tabitha is from Hawaii. We also have Alaska and Jamaica and Denver and let's see, also Michigan, Minnesota. But other than that, I haven't seen it. No one else has been putting too much of where they are, but they are just loving what you're doing, Leanne.
Mm-hmm.
They like Rudolph?
Yes, they think it's really fun and cute.
He looks super cute on camera.
Well, thank goodness that Marisa set this out, because she knew I needed to do this. So you were right. Little did I know how important it was.
Well, Sally wanted to say that, she says, you all have made my year a lot better with these videos. Thank you so much for them. And a big heart.
I love it. Together we all will survive this, and we'll all be better because of it. And things will get better. I just have to keep remembering that. But sometimes that's hard, but you can. Marisa.
Yes, okay, so Pamela wants to know, the foam that you are using, is that something that you can water and keep things fresh?
Yes, it's just midnight foam from the Oasis company. So it works just like regular foam. It's just that it's black. And so you can add water, you can keep things alive, you can have it last and last and last without any issues. So definitely. And the beauty of using midnight foam is you don't have to worry about hiding things as much, because the black just sort of disappears. So you don't see it like you do the green, and so it actually saves you money in that you use less product sometimes to cover your mechanics. So it's a bonus there. Doing one more bit of ribbon here. and adding extra tails, tying it off.
They want to know if in this arrangement, if that's a headband.
It is. Yes, it is. It's just a headband like you could wear, to be fun and festive, but we just put it in so that Elf could be with Rudolph and put it all together.
Foxy wore it last year.
Foxy wore it last. In fact, I'll have to find that picture. We could maybe post that
yes,
again.
I actually have it.
Do you? Okay, so let's
send it.
post that again. That's great. For those of you that don't know, Foxy is our mascot, Maurice's dog, her right-hand sidekick, and comes to work most days. And we so love having her here. And she's the perfect model, and she puts up with us doing all kinds of stuff to her. And you think, poor thing. And she just sits there and takes it so perfectly. She's just a delight. So I just made a bow. Added extra streamers, so I've got more tails to work with. And then this will be my last little Christmas gifting. One thing that I do for some of the neighbors is just take them a bottle of wine. And so I always just take and tie a bow on, just like so. So then you don't even need a gift bag or anything. You could bag it, but I usually just take the bow and put the bow on it. And then just using glue. Again, taking whatever bits that you have left over, because every flower shop has leftover bits. You know you do. They're just always these things that you can't use every speck, and so you end up with just little tiny bits, and you can take and just glue them in. So it's very little effort, and yet still looks so festive. So it's a perfect gift. Just a little bit of glue right on the end. And then just kind of divide and insert it.
Leanne Tabitha says, ooh, after class party, nice wine.
I know. Sometimes, you get the benefit of having to work. Oh, woe is me. Leftover flowers and wine. Darn, what shall we do with that?
And James says, I just really want to thank Leanne and the team for doing the lives, especially during COVID when we all need inspiration, and also for coming on here with so much positivity and a smile. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you to each of you for joining us, because it's the tribe. It's you all that makes this fun and makes it work. And what a privilege to be part of your life each week. I truly, truly, truly thank you for being part of us. So that's the bay. Smells good. The glue doesn't smell so good right now, but the glue will dissipate. But the bay does. And then bay will just dry and stay beautiful. So the whole bow is going to be pretty for a very long time. Cedar will dry and look still pretty. It gets crispy. There's no doubt about that. But it stays pretty.
Leanne, Denise wants to know if that's an organ wine.
It is. It is Elk Cove Vineyards, and it's a type of a Pinot Noir called La Serene, and it's one I just found a little bit ago at a new store that we have that's right by my house. We have a little tiny new baby grocery store, and I love it because it's a baby grocery store, and so they're never busy. I hope they stay busy enough that they stay in business, but it's just a little tiny store. So I love that because it's local. You feel like you're supporting the neighborhood. And I ended up getting most of my Christmas fixings from them this year. And it was just so nice to go in and talk to people who knew who I was and who cared, wanted to make sure I got everything I needed. And it's like, that's just so wonderful. So yes, it is an Oregon wine, and it is a good one. I have enjoyed that. So you can see just tucking it in and then letting it dry. You could add balls, you could add flowers. I'm going to stop there because it's just enough to be the perfect gift. So today, gifting with flowers. We did the poinsettias, which now I'll test to see how long they last. The wine. Good old Rudolph, who came to join us. And then the snowy tulips. So we did 4 this time, a little busier than most. Usually I do 3, but you know what? Today, Christmas gifting spoke to me. So don't forget, if you do need a last minute gift, the Flower Lovers Club and the gift certificates are available. Don't forget to share this video out so more people see it. And don't forget, we'll be here next week on New Year's Eve. I have no idea yet what we're going to do, but it's the last of the year and kicking off the new year, so it's an important one. So hopefully you can join us as we all look forward to what 2021 is going to bring us and look back and reflect on what we can be thankful for from 2020. But for now, I wish you all a fabulous, fabulous holiday time, that you enjoy yourself, enjoy time, and connect with people virtually. Stay far apart, stay safe, stay masked, but stay in touch because we all need that personal connection. See you next week. Bye for now and get out there.